Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the C.L. Bryant Show. I am C.L. Bryant, and I want to welcome aboard all of our friends in Arkansas, East Texas, throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. And to our station there in Wilmington, North Carolina, I want to thank you, WLTT 1180 in Wilmington, North Carolina, our newest station. I want to thank you for bringing us aboard there in Wilmington. And Phoenix, Denver, and Pittsburgh will soon be there. You'll soon be hearing the C.L. Bryant Show there as well. I want to tell you folks about an event that will take place this Saturday. It is one that has attracted literally thousands over the past few years. It is one of the most important topics that our society do in fact discuss at this present time in 2017. Leading the charge in this pro-life issue is my good friend, our friend, a friend of the people who we have now sent to Washington, D.C. as our United States Congressman or representative to represent us, and that is Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson's on the line. Welcome back to the show, Congressman. How are you?
Hey, my friend, doing well. Good to hear your voice.
I understand that you are there in Philadelphia with DJT, as I call him, even to his face, DJT, for the retreat.
Yeah, I am. I call him Mr. President. Vice President Mike Pence is here as well. Got to visit with him today, and Peyton Manning is coming in a few minutes here for our dinner tonight.
Wow.
We heard from the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom just a little while ago, Theresa May, who was outstanding.
Yeah.
It's been quite a couple of days here, CL.
You know, Mike, just between you, me, and the gatepost, I'd really like to be there for Peyton. I've met Trump on 3 or 4 occasions now, and Mike Pence, we spoke together at Kill the Bill rally. Oh, it's been 8-9 years ago there in Indiana. But I'd love to hear Peyton. Now, Mike, the march is coming up on Saturday. You're going to be here for that. Please tell everybody about the March for Life that's happening in Shreveport-Bossier.
Yeah, thanks so much, CL. We've got to spread the word about this. It is such an important event for our area. I'm flying out first thing tomorrow, like 6 a.m., so I can get there to be there for the march. It's on Saturday morning. We meet, this will be the 4th annual Life March for North Louisiana. We started it 4 years ago. The whole purpose of this, CL, is to draw awareness to this huge problem that you and I have talked about so many times, and that is that Shreveport-Bossier is the abortion capital of Louisiana, tragically. More abortions performed in our backyard than in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, or anywhere else. And so we really were just so burdened by that 4 years ago that we decided to do something to try to draw awareness to the issue. And so what we do, we'll be meeting for the 4th year in a row. We'll meet this Saturday morning at 9:45. Next to the boardwalk. Everybody can show up for the parking garage of the boardwalk. Everybody knows where that is. And there's that big open grassy field right there as you turn in. Everybody will gather there. We'll proceed over the Texas Street Bridge, which the state police closes down for us every year because the crowd's so large. And then we go onto the Shreveport side. We proceed down Commerce Street and into Shreveport's Festival Plaza, where the main stage is and the program music and all the great speakers and everything. It is a life-changing experience for the whole family. You know, you've been a part of this, and we're expecting 8 to 9, maybe 10,000 people on Saturday.
Last year, you could not have told me there was any less than that. The crowd may have been a little bit less than 6,000, but But as far as we could look back behind us, Mike, there were concerned citizens, Christian people, people of faith, marching, protesting those who are against life inside the womb. It is time now for men and women of courage to stand up and be counted in this march for life. Mike, tell everybody where to meet again one more time if you would.
Yeah, and look, I want to hasten to point out one thing, CL. This is not like this crazy march that we saw with all these radical leftists in Washington a couple of
No,
days
no,
ago.
it's nothing like
This
that.
is a totally different thing. This is a pro-family event because the message is positive. The message is love. It's about reaching out a renewed hand of compassion to people who are in crisis situations and standing unapologetically for the sanctity of every single human life. And the good news is, CL, when we do that, we can move the needle on this thing. And that's the good news, by the way, as you well know. The latest numbers on abortion in Louisiana came out a couple of months ago. The numbers have decreased statewide by 11% and by 10% in our area. So it makes a difference. That's the first time we've seen a decline in abortion numbers in over a decade. It makes a difference when we take a stand. So Saturday morning, 9:45 in the morning, we're meeting at the boardwalk. It's a short walk, just 1.1 miles to the destination. If you can't make the march, meet us on the Shreveport side in Festival Plaza. You will not want to miss this.
Mike, it is so good to know that it does make a difference. People, you need to know, all of you, wherever you are throughout the Fruited Plains. This show streams live, and of course our friends up in Wilmington, North Carolina. I know that there are going to be marches all over the country. And wherever you are, go out and support this. We need to make this statement. And as U.S. Representative Mike Johnson from the great state of Louisiana has told you, this is not something that of wild-eyed crazies. These are very serious people who understand the value of life that God has breathed into each and every one of us in the womb. As Jeremiah was told by our God, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. And folks, life is precious. Mike, I want to thank you for being there. Hey, if you get a chance to shout out to Peyton, he doesn't know me. I've never met Peyton. I've met Eli. Tell him I said hey. And if you see DJT, he knows CL. And Mike Pence does too. So God bless you and God keep you, man. We're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you there. And everybody can follow all this on Facebook. I'm trying to be pretty diligent about keeping people updated with what's going on here. It's a lot of fun. Mike Johnson on Facebook. Rep Mike Johnson actually is my handle now. So
Rep Mike Johnson.
I'll see you Saturday.
Okay, man. Rep Mike Johnson on Facebook. Go there. Check him out. I'll be right back. I'm CL.
I come from the water. I come from the water. I come from the water. I come from the water, yeah.
CL, back with you on this Thursday here in the jeweled cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier. I am your native son. We are streaming live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. All of you friends of ours in Arkansas and East Texas, we want to welcome you aboard too. And again, I want to shout out to our folks in Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for inviting us into your bosom, soon coming to Pittsburgh, Phoenix, and Denver. The CL Bryant Show will be heard there. But you download us onto your iPhone or Android device or go to TheCLBryantShow.com. Oh, and by the way, 101.7 FM, 101.7 FM is where you can also hear the CL Bryant Show crystal clear. Jay, it's crystal clear, isn't it? On 101.7. Isn't that great?
Like HDTV, baby.
It's just fantastic. HD radio. That's what we got going on. And so thank all of you for tuning in, and all of our sponsors from Bailey's Fine Jewelers, Tiger Axle, Milam Cars, Chevyland, Subway, and Yoakum Toyota. Thank you for sponsoring this segment of the C.L. Bryant Show. Now, we were just on the line with our friend, U.S. Representative to Washington, D.C., Mike Johnson, and he is there right now in Philadelphia with Donald J. Trump, DJT, as well as the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, who spoke to the retreat a little bit earlier. They're awaiting the arrival of Peyton Manning. And quite frankly, folks, I've always been a Manning fan, although I'm a Cowboy fan now, don't get me wrong. But now when Manning was playing anybody but, say, the Cowboys, I was a Manning fan. Great athlete, great individual, great conservative. And, by the way, born right here in Louisiana. But Mike was up there at the retreat, and one of the things that I was very happy to see is that Theresa May, the Prime Minister of England, of the UK, was saying to us that it is necessary, we have a responsibility to renew the special relationship between the United States and the UK. As you all know, our former president sent back the bust of Winston Churchill. That bust has now been sent back to the United States. I don't care how you view history. The United States and England have always had a very special relationship. And it's important now that we keep our friends very close, and we keep an eye. I won't say keep our enemies closer, but we keep an eye on those who are enemies of freedom and enemies of the Republic. I do believe, as all of you know, that our nation was breathed upon divinely with all of her faults, with everything that we have been through over the course of our 240 years, soon to be 41 years of existence. We have, in fact, overcome so much. This issue of life, even though in the UK it is not as great an issue as it is in America, because the forces of against life in the UK have seemingly dominated those who are pro-life in the UK. Look around the world. America is still the champion of life, even with all of the enemies against life, even with those raging against life. America is still the champion of the unborn in this world. And I'm encouraging all of you to join us. But when I was watching her, and as we're going to bring on our next guest here in the next segment, Kim Banks, we must understand that there is a message coming up this Saturday that you cannot miss your opportunity to join your feet, your legs, your voices to this message. Bring your children. It is important that you bring your children because they are a constant reminder of the importance of life and the continuity of life that we see in the eyes of our children. Switching gears now, I am looking at President Pineda, who of Mexico, who our president now has said to him that if he cannot treat our nation, America, with respect, then his trip to America would probably be fruitless. Folks, I want you to understand something. We are a country that does allow in all type of people because we're a country that care. How is it that so many who are pro letting in people because of humanitarian reasons into our nation can find themselves so anti-American life? It doesn't make sense. I'm glad that we have a president now, even though he may have had a different opinion in times past, but he is unabashedly and unashamed to say that he is pro-life now. I think Mexico would be better served if they think about the $270 billion that Americans spend on their soil every year through oil, through buying their fruit, through traveling on vacations. We spend with Mexico $270 billion every year. And on top of that, we give them foreign aid. Yes, we do. So, President NATO, I think that perhaps you need to rethink your position on how we're going to deal with each other in the future. I'm CL. Don't you go anywhere. We're going to be back with Kim Banks. Kim is black. She's the lead coordinator for Black Advocates for Life of Northwest Louisiana. I'm CL. We'll be right back.
In worn-out shoes, silver hair and ragged shirt and baggy pants, the old soft shoe. He jumped so high, and then he lightly touched down. I met him in a sail in New Orleans.
CL, back with you on this Thursday, gateway to the weekend. I certainly hope that all of you are planning to do good, do right, behave yourself this coming weekend. I can tell you one thing you can do. You can join us 9:30. I think it's 9. We need to start gathering about 9 o'clock. You need to start getting out there about 9 o'clock so that we can all get it all together before it's time to go across the bridge from Bossier, marching into Shreveport. For the last 4 years, this has been a huge event, and it has gotten bigger and bigger every year. As the little boy would say, it's gotten gooder and gooder every year. Joining me is not only one of my sisters in Christ, one of my personal church members, but also a friend, and that's Kim Banks. She's been on the show many times, especially this time of the year. She is coming in, and then other times of the year when there are certain highlights for their banquet and so forth that we do every year. Kim Banks, she is the lead coordinator for Black Advocates for Life of Northwest Louisiana, a project of Louisiana Right to Life. Kim, welcome back to the C.L. Bryant Show.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Kim, tell us, gets this one right here. Pull that one over. There you go.
There we go.
Now we got you. Now we got
All
you.
right.
Tell us about Black Advocates for Life of North Louisiana. What is that about?
Well, we're actually an extension of the state of Louisiana Right to Life. They have their own Black Advocates for Life under their umbrella, and we are an extension of that in Northwest Louisiana. And what we do is we bring awareness to the Black community about the high rate of abortion, which a lot of people already know that abortion is the number one cause of death in our community. Mm-hmm. So we bring awareness to those who are unaware, the many facilities that Planned Parenthood has set up in areas that are highly populated through the African American community. So we want people to know that while others are increasing, we are decreasing. Over 15 million since 1973. Wow. We need to wake up and see what's going on.
The birth rate among Black folks, African Americans, as we're referred to in a politically correct way, is actually negative. Is that what you're saying? We have a negative birth rate?
I believe so.
In this country? I've heard that before. In fact, we were saying in my film, about to make the next film, you're going to be a part of that, Red, White, and Black. It said that the rate of abortion in this country, and Black folks only make up 13% of the population, but they account for over 47% of the abortions in this country, and that's amazing how that can be upside down. Mike Johnson was on with us, and he was saying that Shreveport and Bossier is basically the capital of abortions in this nation. Is that possibly true?
That is true.
Wow.
I have statistics from 2013 where 60% of all Louisiana abortions were performed on Black women.
Wow.
And 1 in 5 Black babies in Louisiana were aborted. So that's... it's astounding.
Is that economic? Is it lack of education? What causes that staggering type of dubious distinction among Louisiana residents to have that type of abortion rate? That's not the type of thing you want to be known for. What do we attribute that to?
You know, I don't know. It's like the Bible says that we perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think we are in denial as a people. We think it's someone else's problem and not ours.
Wow.
And so we've got to wake up. We have to wake up. Enough is enough.
I was looking at this thing the other night. Jane and I were looking at this thing, and they were labeling all of the babies. I think you said 15 million.
Over 15 million since 1973.
Since 1973, 15 million lives have perished. And we were looking at this thing that said there were countless doctors, countless lawyers, countless engineers, people who we will never know what difference in this life they would have made to our society. So we're going to have a march on Saturday.
Going to have a march on Saturday.
Tell us about that.
January 28th, and we're starting at the boardwalk. We're going to march over the Texas Bridge and Texas Street Bridge, and then we'll end up at the Festival Plaza. And we are excited. The numbers are going to be as big as they were last year.
Huge.
Because
It was huge.
People have a passion and a heart for life.
Yeah.
Babies are a blessing from God. They are a gift from God. And so this is an important time in our lives to stand up and speak out for those who can't speak for themselves.
And I'm going to tell you something, folks. I know Kim and her husband. They are precious people. They understand what it is to parent, and it's something that God has placed upon their heart to parent. And folks, let me tell you something. Adopt the kids out. I mean, if you're faced with a situation where you are adoption or abortion, adopt the child out. There are people in this country, in this world, who would love to have that precious life to raise as their very own. Kim, I want to thank you. Now, is there anything particular? Let me give you the final words. Is there any final words that you would like to say to our listening audience?
Come out and join us this Saturday. It starts at 10 o'clock. You will be amazed at the many people that are out there, and their hearts are all together for one cause, saving the lives of unborn babies and their moms.
It's awesome, folks. When I look back over my shoulder, was there with my pastor, and Mike was there. Of course, Mike was there last year, and of course, you and your husband were there last year. And we were among a sea of people looking back and seeing, though, that it was endless. People, and the bridge was full. I'm not just talking about a little narrow stream of people coming across the Texas Street Bridge. I want you to see this in your mind. It was a bridge full of people. Come out and be a part of this experience. And my prayer for you is that God will bless your heart for coming out and being a part of it. Kim Banks, who is the lead coordinator for Black Advocates for Life of Northwest Louisiana. You come and stand with her and the rest of us, and of course my friend Mike Johnson, on Saturday. I'm CL. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
CL back with you on this Thursday. I am your native son, streaming live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. That would be America. And I want to welcome aboard all of our friends here in the jeweled cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier, my hometown. You folks in Arkansas and East Texas, thank you for joining us. Our friends in Wilmington, North Carolina, glad to be in your family at WLTT 1180. And soon, Denver, Pittsburgh, and Phoenix will be coming to you as well. Now, folks, we have had on with us tonight our good friend Mike Johnson and Kim Banks, and they were telling us about a mega march that will take place on this Saturday. And it will start in Bossier City. And you need to start gathering around 9 o'clock. You need to start gathering around 9 o'clock because I believe at 9:45 is when the march actually kicks off across the Texas Street Bridge. And one of the people that will be joining us on this march is State Representative Katrina Jackson. She represents District 16 of Ouachita and Morehouse parishes right here in our great state of Louisiana. For the first time, I want you to help me welcome to the show Katrina Jackson. Thank you for being there with me.
Thank you so much for having me. How's everyone doing?
I certainly hope
Pleasure
that.
to be on.
Well, thank you so much for being there. Katrina, you are pro-life. Tell us, share with us.
100%.
Share with us why does it take courage these days to be pro-life, or is it just take common sense, Christian convictions? What does it take for you to stand up in the face of those who are against life, seemingly, in this country? What does it take for you to speak out like you do?
Christian conviction.
That's what it
First and
is.
foremost.
That's what it
Don't
is.
choose anything over God. You know, the Bible says if you be shamed on him in front of the world, he'll be shamed on you in front of his Father. I want to fall in the position where God is shamed on me.
I am so glad to hear you say that. And full disclosure, I am a black man, and it grieves my heart in so many ways, Katrina, to see so many times our people who are willing to go along, it seems, to get along with the pro-choice type of message, especially when so many black babies over the period of years, 15 million babies have died over the last 15 years or 30 years. Tell us.
Right.
Tell us now, what do we need to do to change the hearts of our young people? Because that's all they know. Anybody under 25 years of age, that's all they've known was abortion. Tell us, what can we do?
Well, even when I was growing up, I grew up in the church, and the truth was the first thing is that our pastors, especially in the African-American community, are going to have to start addressing the issue. Because I remember that I didn't become strong on it until probably in law school, growing up in church, because, you know, we were taught not to kill, but that message was never hit home on abortion. We were taught, you know, by the world that abortion was choice, and we were taught that abortion was choice. And
right.
So I apologize for the background. I'm actually traveling down the Baton Rouge right now.
I understand.
We were just taught it was choice, and so when it's not, first of all, taught in the churches, to a degree where people understand it. I remember having so many conflicts growing up in college because we said, well, it's choice. So, you know, you logic that a baby isn't a human until it's born. But then when I got deeper into the Word of God, God says that I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb.
There you go.
I called you to be a prophet before the nations while you were in your mother's womb. And so when the Word is taught and applicable to the truth about abortion, you become more knowledgeable. I was one of those 22, 23-year-olds that didn't believe abortion was murder.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And
And
you
so
know
that's
what?
the first step we have to take.
I hear our women, white, black, red, yellow, black, and white, saying, I want the right over my own body. Now, I have three daughters and one grown granddaughter. And this is what I always tell them. I agree with you. Your body is your right to do with what you want to do with it. But now my grandchildren's bodies that you bore into this world through is a whole different. That's a whole different body. Are we telling them right about that? That's a life that's separate from the life that you have. Is that the message also, Representative Jackson?
Right, and I believe that's correct, but it's we're not drilling it home from birth. We're teaching them not to lie, not to steal, not to disrespect us. But Justin, you asked more importantly in youth why it's not hitting home is because we're not teaching it in a home.
Yeah.
We're teaching them all the principles of God, all the principles of respect, but we never accurately deal with it. And that's one thing that we're going to have to start doing if we want to see the 25-year-olds coming to the realization about it, because we don't teach them.
Right.
Secondly, and I'm saying the majority of America. Secondly, because everyone they admire so much, the stars, the actresses and actors and the singers are all now screaming they're pro-choice and having these movements. We're going to have positive reinforcement for our children. Tell them that no one's, yeah. Go ahead.
We have to be just as loud as the opposition is to us.
Right.
At one time, we didn't have to be as loud because something happened in our culture, Representative Jackson. I don't know where it happened. I really couldn't tell you. Somewhere around the last of the Vietnam era, I think, is when all this changed. But, of course, we can go to Roe versus Wade. But there were still people who didn't buy into that, especially in the black community. We didn't buy into that. And I'm not really sure I can put my finger on where it was that we began to buy into that message. But with people like you, with people like Representative...
I can say this.
Tell me.
I can say this, though. We bought into the Democratic Party, and I'm a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
I have a firm belief that the Bible says the poor is going to be with us always, and I don't think any party has a license on God.
Mm-hmm.
So when we began to buy into the party and it became so acceptable with the party and our politics in the black community, then because we weren't teaching it in the churches, because we were not really addressing it at home, the black community was so ingrained in the party who began to advocate for it.
Amazing.
And so it became a part of their political belief. What I've learned is that the black Christian in the Democratic Party doesn't speak up loud enough.
That is so good.
And that's what happened in the black community.
I'm going to send you a copy of my movie, Runaway Slave. I'm going to send a copy to you because, full disclosure, I happen to be a black Republican conservative, but your view on that and my view on that are the same. But see, the common ground that you and I have, Katrina, we're Christians, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thank you so much for being with me. Travel safe. God bless and keep you.
God bless you.
I'll be back. I'm CL. Don't you go anywhere. CL, back with you on this Thursday. I tell you what, I am just so proud to have been able to sing the praises of life that we're going to absolutely do and glorify our Creator. At the same time, this Saturday, join me along with my pastor, James A. McMinnis, and our good friend, Mike Johnson, State Representative Katrina Jackson, Kim Banks, and her husband are going to be there with us on Saturday, along with about 8,000 of our closest and most sincere Christian friends. Christian or no, you just may be a believer in life being precious. Come on out and march with us. Cross that bridge. Let's send a statement to the nation that we are going to stand for life here in North Louisiana, Shreveport, and Bossier, that has a reputation of being the abortion capital. Get this, folks, the abortion capital of the United States. How is it possible? But we have that dubious distinction. Let's become known for something else. Now, back to my lead story of the evening was Enrique Peña Nieto, the president of Mexico, has said that he ain't coming. he ain't coming. If Trump's going to talk the way he's talking, Enrique Peña Nieto is saying he is not coming to America. Peña Nieto is saying he's not coming to America to meet with Donald Trump. Trump fires back saying that, hey, if you cannot treat America with respect, then maybe you're right. Don't come, because the meeting will be fruitless. Now, I'm going to show you the difference in 8 years of trying to pander, and 8 years of trying to make excuses for America being strong, compared to 5 days, 6 days of strength. We might be able to talk about, and I'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow and tomorrow night's show, we might be able to talk about the first 100 days of the Trump administration, or the first 100 days of the Trump administration. Here in the next 90 days, we'll be coming up on that. And we'll talk about the first 100 days of the Trump administration and what he was able to get done. But folks, you don't need to wait that long. You can talk about the first 100 hours of the Trump administration. It has been it has been an event. The protest, the issues, the meeting with foreign dignitaries today, Theresa May of the UK, the Prime Minister of the UK, was here saying that, yes, we must renew the special relationship between U.S. and the U.K. And, of course, we had to whoop the British to become the nation that we are. They're our mother country. England is our mother country. I mean, listen, we are, whether you're Greek, whether you're African American is a political correct way to say that, whether you're from the islands, wherever that is, Cuba, wherever, or Haiti, wherever you're from here in this country, the fact of the matter is the nation itself was birthed from England. We fought a revolution to become free of her. And so there is a special relationship. She is one of our closest, well, if not the closest ally that we have. And I'm certainly hoping that what will emerge from this meeting tomorrow, actually, Trump and Prime Minister May will be meeting privately tomorrow. I'm hoping that a Reagan and Thatcher type of relationship will emerge again, because that was the type of relationship that brought down the evil empire, the Soviet Union. That is what brought them to heel, was the relationship of Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan, two leaders of the free world. And for the longest time now, not calling any names, we have not had strong leadership of the free world. But I think we have it again. I think it has reappeared again. And if you're not sitting there with your head in the sand and in total denial of what you're seeing, if you're not just buying into what the progressive liberals are trying to sell you, you understand that there is a mood change. If you had a mood ring on your finger, the mood change is occurring in this country. And unfortunately, it is breeding two Americas. One who understands that we're on our way back to the nation that we're supposed to be, and one that want us to continue down the path that will destroy the core values and fabric of our nation. There are two Americas emerging, and yes, I'll talk more about it tomorrow on tomorrow's show, but I do believe that there is definitely in the offing, if we're not careful, if we're not steadfast and unmovable on the core values of American principles, there is civil war right up under the surface, of who we are as Americans, if in fact we are not careful. Now, we spend a lot of money with Mexico. Now, Trump is threatening a tariff of 20% on goods from Mexico into this country. Now, this does have to be approved by Congress. It's not as easy as he may make it sound to us, because this does really have to be approved by Congress, and it has to do with the rest of the trade as far as Mexico is concerned around the world. But this is what's stirring up. You pay attention to what's happening now, because Mexico is our immediate neighbor to the south. Louisiana, we can throw a rock and hit Mexico. There's no question about it. We can do that. There is anti-American sentiment that's being stirred up down in Mexico. And now here's the kicker. The presidential elections in Mexico happen next year. And Enrique Peña is not liked very much in Mexico. However, he is much more pro-American than the person who is now gaining steam because of Trump's stance on Mexico. And his name is Lopez Obrador. He is a disciple of Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, the former dictator of Venezuela. He is a disciple of Daniel Ortega, a former Sandinista. I'm going to tell you why that's important for you to know when I return. I'm CL. Don't go anywhere.
Silver hair and ragged shirt and baggy pants. The old soft shoe. He jumped so high. He jumped so high. And then he lightly touched down.
CL. Yeah. Now, I was telling you about the kicker with this Mexico thing. You got a pro America president of Mexico now who is not popular with his people. I think there's something like, I think he has, it's in his approval rating, something that we're in the 30s, the low 30s. Enrique Pena Neta's approval rating down in Mexico is in the 30s. It's low. He's not liked because he is pro-American, which tells me that he has good sense, but he's got a lot of pressure on him. I actually feel as though President Neta would probably go for the wall thing because he does have good sense. But because he has people like Lopez Obrador who will be running against him, who is anti-America. And friends, this is important to know. And this is the bridge. This show, I hope, gives you the information you're going to need as we travel toward the year 2020. Because you think that the world is different now, you wait until we are in the year 2020, 3 years from now. We will be entering into the fourth year of the Trump administration, getting ready for that 2020 election. And the world is crazy and topsy-turvy as it is now. You just give it 3 years, and I am telling you, mark my words here on this, what's the date, 25th, Michelle? Mark my words here on the 25th day of January, year of our Lord, 2017. I will not be surprised if America is not in full-scale civil war over the very issue that we are talking about, over one of these three issues or maybe all three. Because the progressive liberals, if they can do it, they will lump all three together. That is illegal immigration, that is the Islamic threat, and that is abortion. And don't forget the gay rights agenda. I don't know how you lump all those three together, but believe me, there have been some strange bedfellows on that progressive liberal side. They find a way to create chaos. So you must be aware. You need to be aware that there is an anti-American president in Mexico. And if you think things are topsy-turvy now with Mexico, you just let this guy, Lopez Obrador, become president of Mexico. He is, as I told you, a disciple of Hugo Chavez. They don't have toilet paper in Venezuela, where Hugo Chavez was the former dictator. Daniel Ortega, Nicaragua, Sandinista, Nicaragua, wherever this type of leftist movement has taken place, the people have been hurting. Now, let's just say that this wall does go up in the next year or two in certain strategic places where it should go up. And let's just say Pena Neta, the president of Mexico now, a pro-American president, is ousted. He's no longer president of Mexico. And you have a Hugo Chavez type come in and become, in essence, the new president dictator of Mexico. Now, these people, they can't flee to the south because the people in Central America are fleeing into Mexico because of dictators down there. The wall is up, and more border patrol is on the border of America. So the people who began to hurt under the new dictator that could take over in Mexico, if Enrique Pena Neta is overthrown, as that Eastern Bloc refugee said to me when I was on the trail, CL, if America goes away, where do people go? Where do Mexicans go if Where do Mexicans go if they can't come here? Where do Mexicans go if they can't go to Central America? I tell you what happens to them, and the same thing happens to them that happened to the folks in Venezuela. They suffer because we are indeed cracking down and promoting the rule of law. That is what Donald Trump is doing right now. He is promoting the rule of law. I'm going to talk to you about sanctuary cities here in just a minute. Who do we have, Michelle? Mark's on the line. Mark, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind?
Well, I enjoy you talking about this immigration issue. You know, there's several things you can make you stop and think. What if another country was luring all our best and brightest away? We would be against it. We want to be building the wall to keep them in, kind of like Russia did back in the Cold War. They had to keep their people in. And so why would Mexico oppose that? Because, well, maybe it's not their best and brightest that are leaving. That some of their, as Trump said, some of their not so best and brightest. And also, you know, he talked about tourism. You know, our lieutenant governor comes on. He's in charge of tourism. Why is tourism important to any state's economy? Because that's money coming from the outside. That's all new money. People come to New Orleans and party, and they spend a lot of money. It helps Louisiana's economy. Well, when illegal people come from other countries and then they send their money back, which is what a lot of them are doing. They're making money here and sending it back for their family that they left behind. That's money coming in from another state, and they don't even have to feed us, entertain us, or put us up in hotels. It's just free money coming in. So, of course, they're against everything that we're talking about. Of course, they're against everything Trump's talking about. We're cutting it into their tourism without them having to wait on us. They get money coming in. It's like we had 1 million hotel reservations and we canceled them all, and it was non-refundable.
You know, you bring up a very interesting point, Mark. Any president, any leader of a country, seems to me, like you just stated, he'd want his people, especially the best and brightest, to remain right there in the country. But you're right. It very well may speak volumes as to why they're so much against this wall, because we're not getting the best and brightest. Mark, I hear the music.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for calling. I'm CL. We'll be right back. CL. This is the CL Bryant Show. Thank you for joining us on this journey. There is one thing I want to make perfectly clear to everybody listening throughout the fruited plains of America, especially those who might be tuned in who are progressive and love to hate on conservatives. The message that America want to send to all of the world is that Americans are not anti-immigrants. Legal, that is. We're not anti-immigrants. And you can't be an immigrant if you're in this country illegally. You are an alien. Are you hearing me? We are pro rule of law. We are a nation of laws. And we're pro rule of law. And we are pro people who want to assimilate under the laws that we have established in this nation, which makes us all Americans. Did you hear me? We are not anti-immigration, but we are pro rule of law. And if you are in this country illegally, you are not an immigrant. That is the lie that progressive liberals are putting forth in this nation, is that they are illegal immigrants. No, they are aliens, criminal aliens. And I use criminal not because they have killed anyone, although many of them have, not because they are out robbing banks, although some of them do, but because they are here illegally, which makes their presence a crime and which makes them criminals. Now, we are pro rule of law, which means that now, if you are wanting to make this right, illegal alien, then you need to assimilate to the laws that are in place that make you legally here. And unfortunately, I have a feeling that a lot of them are going to get a chance to stay anyhow, because it's quite obvious that you can't round up 11 million, 12 million, maybe as many as 20 million folks and send them out of the country. 320-5335, 320-5335 is the number to call. Michelle, who do we have?
Someone special.
Someone special. Thank you so much for Pastor Brad Avery.
No, you were his pastor, Brad Whitehead.
Oh, hey, Brad, how are you? God bless you. God keep you, man. I hadn't heard from you in a long time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind? Brad, are you there? I'm hearing him, but I'm not getting him. But anyway, we'll bring him back up in just a minute. Now, let me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Brad.
Travis, I used to go to. You was my pastor.
Yeah. Brad, how are you, man? Good to hear from you. Hadn't heard from you in a long time. How have you been?
Oh, I've been pretty good.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, I've been looking on Facebook, and I've been watching where he's saying he's gonna charge 20% on any product coming into the United States.
Yeah.
And I mean, economics 101 tells you that that's gonna raise the price of the product here, right?
Oh, absolutely, it will. It definitely will. It definitely will raise that up. No doubt about it.
So what is the other plan? I mean, that since we could throw that plan away, what's the other plan?
That is a threat that Trump is making. Hopefully, we all know that Trump is one of those guys who comes to the table saying, okay, if you don't do this, this is going to happen, knowing that that is the big deal that he wants to put on the table. This is the thing, Brother Whitehead, this is the thing. We spend $270 billion with Mexico every year, plus we give them foreign aid. So mentioning something like a 20% tariff to them, that's not even the big stick that we have when it comes to Mexico. Because the other plan, as you were saying, the other plan is this. We can, in fact, stop doing business because they need us a whole lot more then we need them. And so when it comes to somebody who is the author of a book like The Art of the Deal, I think that's a part of the deal that's going to be
So you
placed
think
on the
he's playing
table.
poker? Think he's playing
Absolutely.
poker?
Absolutely.
Well, I hope so, CL, because I drive and deliver this spray every day. And
That's
I
right.
know
I remember that.
20%.
You do that. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. 20%, brother. I'm gonna tell you, this America will build that wall.
And we
20%. No company is gonna fight 20%.
no, nobody's gonna listen.
No,
That's what
nobody's
that
gonna
is what
fight
he's threatening.
20%.
That's what he's
American
threatening.
people will fight that 20% if he does that. I'm like you, CL. I hope he's playing poker.
Oh, he's doing it. I'm telling you, he is. And let me tell you why. It's like you want to blow somebody out of the water if you don't want them to buy your product, Brad. You tell them, you outprice them. You blow the price up so high they won't even buy into it. Well, in the situation that we are, as far as Americans are concerned, and I know I can understand your concern being a truck driver. In fact, every truck driver out there is probably saying and thinking the very same thing that you are right now.
We got a thing called every bill that we deliver, and any truck driver will call and tell you it's got a fuel tax on it, which is 30%.
Yeah.
That gets passed on to you, me, and everybody else. That trucking company's not going to fight that, and the shipper's not going to fight that, and the customer's not going to fight it. The person who's buying that product is going to fight that 30%.
It's a poker move. Believe me. It's a poker move.
I hope
yes, I'm telling you, it is a poker move. And Mexico, I'm telling you, President Enrique Peña, he is going to come to the table, but he's afraid of his own people right now. Brad, listen, I hear the music. God bless you and keep you out there. Be safe, man. Talk to you soon. I'll be back in just a minute. I'm CL. CL back with you on this Thursday here in the jewel cities of the Arklatex. You know, I was on with just a former church member of mine, just a little bit ago, Brother Whitehead. Remember him so clearly, and he's a truck driver. And you know, his point's incredibly valid as far as the tariff on goods coming in, because truckers transport that stuff. And they understand that this will be passed on to us. But I'm telling you, mark my word, DJT, and it's a brilliant stroke. He's got the Mexican president in a position that no leader of their country would like to be in. But a guy like Trump, he's able to do exactly what Obama was afraid to do. That's what I'm saying. Now, I have a very good friend in both of the names I'm about to mention. One, Rob Goodday. Rob Goodday, folks, for those of you, full disclosure, was the very first person to hear me say the words runaway slave. And he was with me at the Starbucks over in Bossier when I presented an idea to a friend of mine who I wanted to hear about it. And that was Rob Goodday. Since then, he has gone on to do so many different things and affect so many different people's lives. Here recently, of course, he came back into prominence when we had the floods down in southern Louisiana just this past year. And he has started what was called the Cajun Relief Funds. And he had a chance to meet with another friend of mine just over in Dallas at the studios of Mercury One. That is Glenn Beck. Rob Goodday, welcome back to the CL Bryant Show.
Hey, CL, man. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastically well. How has the world been treating you, Rob?
Yeah, I've been doing great. Ever since the floods, we found ourselves very busy helping citizens recover, and also taking this idea of the Cajun Navy, which the Cajun Relief Foundation was born out of, and figuring out how to help others with it as well.
I am really
That's
happy.
What we were meeting with Glenn Beck about.
I am really happy to hear, that you all are still on the firing line, that you're still the front line of relief for people who still are. Before we talk about Glenn and Glenn helping you, I want to talk about perhaps people who are still displaced and the people who still need help. Rob, tell us about that, even now after the flood, so many months after the flood. Tell us just how that people are beginning to be reassembled or reassembling themselves in neighborhoods. Talk to us.
Yes, yeah, we're gosh, if this were a football game, we're still in the first quarter.
Wow.
There's so much that has to be done. Over 150,000 homes took on water. 20,000 businesses took on water. 90,000 cars were lost. 500,000 Louisianians, people here in Louisiana, were directly affected through the flooding, and most of them lost everything and had no insurance, very little savings.
Wow.
And very little way in the means of government assistance to try to fix their problems.
And so you told Glenn about this.
Yeah.
Tell us what Glenn said about it.
Well, we talked to Glenn briefly about it today, Gail, and Glenn is. This is the first time I've actually met Glenn. I know you know him very well. Glenn is. I don't know how to put it. He's God's. He's a gift. He really is.
Yeah, he is.
He's such an empathetic person. I think in a lot of ways he's misunderstood.
Big time.
Which is really unfortunate. The good he does will never be measured. And his foundation is called Mercury One. We just left a dinner with them, and they have funded us. They have given us $40,000.
Fantastic.
To develop a platform that can be used here in Louisiana to enable citizens to meet each other's needs rather than waiting on government to come save us from, that's what the Cajun Navy did, right? We saved ourselves. Why are we going to wait on government to fix these homes? And we're not going to wait. So we're building a way to let citizens to get together and help each other. And not only in Louisiana still, but around the country. And that's what is so exciting, because all we did as Cajun Navy and as citizens helping each other here in the flood areas is meet a need. And that's a common thing if you think about it that way. If you have a disaster, you have needs that need to be met. But if you have a hungry neighbor, or you have a citizen that needs a coat because it's cold, that's a need. And why not find a way to let citizens go meet those needs? And that's what we're working on.
You know
and
what?
That's what has these guys so excited for what we're doing.
And you should be excited about it, and you should also be excited about partnering with a great American like Glenn Beck. And folks, I'm going to tell you something, and like just like our president, and of course I've been like this all of my life and will be like this, I certainly trust, until the Lord calls me off the battlefield. But Glenn Beck is a friend of mine. I know that he has taken a lot of flack because of his political stance here in the last couple of 15, 16 months, 2 years. But just the same, Glenn is a true American hero to so many people that it goes unnoticed. And Rob, I tell you, you have partnered with somebody who really means it. He means what he is about, and that's being a patriot. And what you guys are doing as the Cajun Navy and as the Cajun Relief Foundation is totally great as far as I am concerned. Tell us how to help you. Tell us where people should go to contribute as well.
What we're doing is, through the Cajun Relief Foundation, is empowering citizens to help their neighbors. It's neighbors helping neighbors. What a better way to change America, right, and build relationships. And the way that anybody that's listening can help us is just to give time, give money, give donations directly to people who need it. You can go to our website, CajunRelief.org, and there's a donate button. Obviously, we're a 501c3. We are equipped to take donations and make sure that those are used to help citizens recover, and that's what we're working on. We're working on it every day.
Folks around the country, wherever you're listening to the show as we stream live throughout the nation, particularly you folks in Wilmington, North Carolina, you've had floods up there. You understand the plight of people in flood plains. You folks there in Pittsburgh and Denver and over in Phoenix, where we'll soon be coming to stations near you, please go to that website and help my good friend Rob Goday. My good friend Glenn Beck has already been there. Rob, God bless you and keep you. I hear the music. I got to go, man. But we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, CL.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
CL back with you on this Thursday evening here in the jeweled cities of the Architect, streaming live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the earth. And I have a feeling we're going to get greater as we go along. There is no question about it. Joining me now is my friend Rafael from Miami. And Rafael, thank you so much for joining me. I see that the mayor there, or Miami-Dade mayor, orders jails to comply with Trump crackdown on sanctuary counties. How are you reading that? Is it a good thing, bad thing? What are you thinking?
Well, I am absolutely reading it as a good thing, and hello to you, my friend.
Hello.
CL, it's always great to speak with you.
You as well.
The thing is, Miami-Dade County has never really been a sanctuary city or county. The issue was about a couple of years ago that the feds were not paying, you know that Obama wanted to have it both ways. So the feds didn't want to pay for the extra days that people would have to stay in jail if they were wanted by the feds. So there was an ordinance or a measure passed by the commission that if the feds didn't want to pay for those extra days, that then they would not hold the people. And so the Justice Department obviously declared Miami-Dade County like a sanctuary county because that's what they wanted. You know, they wanted a lot of sanctuary cities and counties because they were not doing anything against them, right?
Right.
So they essentially made the Miami become a sanctuary place, and then they declared it one.
Wow.
But we were really not one ever. Now, supposedly the new measure with Trump correctly agrees to pay for the expenses, and now the feds are saying that they have enough room in the federal facilities to transfer these people to. And so, therefore, Miami, the strong mayor of Miami, Carlos Jimenez, who happens to be a Republican who voted for Hillary Clinton, passed this executive decree, so to speak, ordering these people to comply with the existing federal regulation.
And you know what, Rafael, that's exactly what the president was saying to Department of the DHS yesterday when he said, for a long time, you all have not been able to do your jobs. What the mayor down there has just said, listen, there is a job to do and there are laws to enforce that we are not enforcing.
Absolutely.
That's what you have to do if we just did what our laws tell us to do here in America, we could solve this problem. And go ahead.
We would not be in the situation that we are.
And let me ask you this. Now, I was looking at this statistic earlier today. I think there are 29 counties in the state of Oregon that are sanctuary counties.
Really?
It's 29 counties in the state of Oregon that are sanctuary counties, and one of the sheriff's precincts, there's a sheriff precinct that is sanctuary as well. This is my question for you. How is it possible that we have allowed these sanctuary cities to operate above the laws of the nation? Shouldn't our nation be behind legislation that will take away funding from law-breaking counties and cities, in your opinion?
Absolutely, but the irony of this thing is that these people, these sheriffs and these mayors of these counties, forcefully stand against a constitutional federal law. But when it comes to things, with the EPA and all of the unconstitutional things that the federal government does with the Bureau of Land Management and all of that, they allow it. So they stand against the constitutional laws passed by the federal government, but they do not even protest against the unconstitutional overreaches of power. So this is obviously such either ignorance or knowledge, knowing malfeasance on the part of these people.
Now,
which
down
goes against the fabric of our country.
Down in Mexico, and I definitely want to get your take on this before we run out of time. I would not want to be in President Enrique Peña Nieto's position right now, because he has people who are anti-American, who are against him down there in Mexico. And now he's gotten himself in a very cramped type of situation with the new American president. He's in a very bad situation. And this, check this out, Rafael. There is a guy by the name of Lopez Obrador who is a disciple of Hugo Chavez and also a disciple of the Sandinistas, formerly under Daniel Ortega.
Know him very well.
Let me ask you this. This current Mexican president very well could be ousted. Is that right?
Well, yes, he could, but not only because of this, but he came in with great intentions of modifying the whole thing, and he went against, as you know, the school, the teachers union, which essentially runs, like 20% of the Mexican economy, and they do whatever the hell they want. It's like a parallel government, and they went against them, and the whole people were with him until he started flailing around, and then it turned into shambles. So yes, he could very well get ousted because he started with very good reforms, and then he didn't
follow through
with them strongly as he should have been.
Rafael, I'm gonna have to leave it there, man.
Okay.
Listen. I thank you so much for calling. I want to talk to you next week. We'll talk again next week. And hey, I'll be talking to you probably tomorrow, Saturday rather, on that thing that we've been talking about. I'll talk to you soon.
Perfect.
God bless you.
See you then.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
I'm CL. Be right back.
Ain't on the edge of no popular trend.
CL, yeah. Back with you. Yeah, defund those sanctuary cities. Take the money away. And as I said, I'm going to talk about it a lot more tomorrow. I want you to join me here tomorrow for the weekend show. It's a full lineup as well. Join me for the weekend show. There's a lot of things that we talk about during that show that we don't talk about during the week. And there's some things, even though it's just absolutely breaking news, that we save through the weekend for Monday and let that sort of marinate through the weekend. And we are at a definite crossroads in our nation. We're at a definite crossroads in our nation. The seasons are changing. I think that's the best way to put it. The seasons are changing in our nation. And you can believe it or not, because this way I'm looking at it. Now, you can agree with me or you don't have to agree with me. Of course not. That's why we want to have conversation with you. We want to be that bridge to conversation so that we can talk about things that you may disagree with me on. Because you take like my former member, Brother Whitehead, who called in, a truck driver. We look at his point of view because, hey, we know, and Congress knows this too, that a 20% tariff does create problems, but it gets your attention if you're the president of Mexico, knowing that you have the new president of the United States saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to be a chump. And the new president of the United States is also saying to him in making that move is that you need to think about something. Not only do we give you foreign aid, but there's a lot of Americans that come down to Mexico every year, and we even buy oil from you. We buy your fruit. We go to your beaches. We spend time in your resort, and we've tallied all that up. It comes to about $270 billion of American revenue that you get from us. And that represents to you, Mexico, about 80% of your revenue, of your revenue. Mexico's a rich country on its own. It has natural resources and all of that. But the thing that Trump campaigned on was America has been a chump. Now, the people that we have been chumps to most are the Chinese. Now, this is the thing that President of Mexico has been seen doing, which can be of concern to us, and it should be of concern to us. He's been seen in the company of the Chinese, which means that if he has to flee from our arms, and Mexico is in our arms. Oh, yeah, they're in our arms. Trump is just simply saying, hey, look, you're going to treat us right. We're not going to be treated like chumps. And there's also a message, and if you look at my friend Sean Hannity tonight, I've been hearing this being advertised for a while now, most of the day, well, most of the afternoon as I was driving to various destinations. It has been a busy. Oh, and by the way, folks, I need to tell you this. I need to say this to you. I had a chance to visit with my friend, Chef Giuseppe Brucia, today. I visited with Chef Giuseppe Brucia today at his new place. It is called the Pasta Cafe. It is at 920 Piermont. 920 Piermont. It's in Suite 110. When you walk in, you'll see it. Go into 920 Piermont. You'll walk in, you'll see it. It is very nice. And of course, the food is always fresh. The food is fabulous. I knew Chef couldn't stay away very long, but he is knocking it out. Actually, it is Joe's place, his son. It's Joe's place. Chef is, of course, putting his signature on it, but it's called Giuseppe's Pasta Cafe. Giuseppe's Pasta Cafe. Go there. Jane and I were there today. Enjoyed a great time talking to Chef. today. And Chef Giuseppe is just as brilliant in his cuisine, preparing his cuisine. Got a chance to talk to Natalie, his wonderful daughter-in-law, Joe's wife. Go there. Pasta Cafe. The Pasta Cafe. You go there. I think they're open. I think Chef told us they open at 8 o'clock at night, and they're there until 8 o'clock in the day, and they're there until 8 o'clock at night. 8 o'clock, 8 to 8. Grab some really good food. I really miss you at Giuseppe's, but you don't have to miss them any longer. You don't have to miss them any longer. I'm telling you that you can grab some food there that's going to be absolutely fabulous, just as good as it was at Giuseppe's when he was up on Line Avenue. I'm C.L. Bryant. Be back to put a bow on it when I return.
I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. I done said the right thing, but it must have used the wrong.
CL, here to close it out on this Thursday evening. Be sure to tune in the show tomorrow. A full lineup. K. Carl Smith of the Frederick Douglass Republicans will be on with me, along with Karen Watson, and California Ted Hayes will be on with me as well. California Ted Hayes will be on with me as well. Now, I would ask you to tune in my good buddy Sean Hannity. Sean will be coming on the show in about 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks when Sean will be coming on the show. Of course, he's real busy now. By being as loyal as he was to DJT, Sean is basically the news, the Fox News anchor to the White House. And, of course, he's been on this show at least 3 times. I'm on his show frequently, but, of course, we both do our own things. I can't spend a lot of time doing Fox stuff because I'm busy doing CL stuff. So, but anyway, Sean's coming on with me here real soon. I'm going to get his take on a lot of stuff. Got a lot of things to tap into his brain about here in the next couple of weeks. But tune into his show tonight, and you'll get a chance to hear a clip that really makes me encouraged about the new president. And that is, he calls Islamic terrorists what they are, sneaky and dirty rats. You got to hear it. And radical Islam, he says, they're not like Nazis who had their own uniforms and their own symbols and all this kind of stuff, and they had an army that was identifiable. He calls them sneaky, dirty rats. Folks, that's calling the enemy what it is. That's what we have been begging for. That's what we've been asking for, to identify the enemy. I'm sure it makes our men and women in uniform better prepared as well when you identify the enemy. And I can't wait until we redo these rules of engagement so that our boys and girls can go out and take the fight to the enemy and utterly destroy the enemies of the Republic, the great nation of America. And, hey, there are people calling us Islamophobic. No, we're not Islamophobic. We're terror. We're have a phobia about people who are dirty, sneaky, dirty rats. As well we should be. And the only thing you can do about that is exterminate them by whatever means necessary to protect our children and our future. I want to thank God for teaching our fingers to fight and our hands to war against the enemies of this republic. And I want to thank Him for our men and women in uniform around the globe who defend our right to speak our minds. And until I am able to talk to you again, I'm CL, and may God bless and keep you all.
By your side, and the bond will never be torn. For those who wear the uniform.